What is going on, everybody? My name is Jay, this is Unplayable, and today we are going to be doing some Primal gameplay. Now, it's just not any normal gameplay. We are going to be playing the Trial by Fire. This is the first Primal challenge in a series of Primal challenges that they are going to be releasing for Primal the Awakening. Now, I'm going to be playing with my good friend Andrew, and we are going to take on the boss, KHARJA. KHARJA is a fiery, four-legged beast who we are trying to defeat because he's been creating chaos throughout the land. So let's go ahead and read to you what this challenge is gonna be all about. KHARJA is made of flesh and fire. The flames that rise in its wake twist like damned souls. Do not lose yourself in its hell. So we are going to be playing on aggression level 1, which means we get to create our character basically for the scenario as a level 1 character. And then there are some special rules. First of all, we are fighting surrounded by rivers of lava. The heat at our backs pushes us against the monster. We have to remove the keep your distance objective card from the game. Also, the air is growing thinner. You're breathing ash and steam. At the start of the round, each player discards cards equal to the current round number from the top of their deck. And then the last thing is, you are hallucinating from the heat. The flames burning you have faces and long arms that tighten around you. When a player empties their deck, they suffer 1 heat damage. This damage is in addition to the regular fatigue damage and cannot be avoided. And then they have a whole scoring system. You get -5 points if anyone was KO'd. You get -5 points if anyone consumed a healing potion. However, you get +20 if you complete the challenge on your first try. You get +10 if you use the Nightmare variant. You get +10 for each Nightmare behavior card you use. And then if you beat the scenario at all, you start by getting +70 points. And then they have a ranking system. So our objective for me and Andrew is going to be simply to succeed and survive and beat the monster. So let's see if we can get that done and join us at the table. Let's get started.
Hello, my name is Andrew. I'm a friend of Jeremiah's. I've known him for a couple of years now. We play board games together. Met up at a game night, and from there we just kind of clicked and meshed, and things have gone from there. I'm going to be playing Kara, which is the blade dancer. Really cool. She uses dual blades to kind of chain her attacks together and do what's called a battle dance. Scenario, KHARJA, the fire. It seems like it's going to be an interesting one. Seems it's going to be a little tougher too, because you're going to be taking excess damage whenever you run through your deck. On top of that, at the beginning of the round, you're going to be discarding cards from the top of your deck, and it's going to just increase with each round. I think it's going to be a fun and interesting one, but I think it's going to be a tough one to get through, especially since it's been about a month since I last played Primal, really, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
All right, so we are doing the Trial by Fire. So me and Andrew are going to take on the first challenge of Primal. Andrew is going first. He has the little first player token here. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna draw up. He already got spirits drawn up. You go ahead and take our first turn. So we skipped the monster upkeep in the first round, right?
Yes, we do.
So I'm not gonna consume anything.
However, I do believe we start with player. We do the struggle part. We just don't do the behavior refresh.
Okay.
So we're gonna add 2.
2 per player.
1 per player.
All right, sorry, 1 per player. And then here we go. Movement phase for Andrew.
First thing I can do is
Where is he vulnerable? So he's not vulnerable in the
We
front.
also cannot play any cards in the front because we have fire there right now.
Yeah, so we
start of the
definitely want
round,
to move.
We actually exhaust a potion card at the start of round 1, according to this stance, the beginning stance.
That's what I was about to look at. I'm pretty sure there's something we have to do. Discard the top card of the behavior deck. If that card has claw, players in the front sector suffer damage. So we have to do that too, right?
Yes, we do.
And exhaust just means flip one of these over like we used it,
Yes,
and we'll never be able to use it again.
correct. So
All
we
right.
just used one of our potions. Now this does not have claw, it looks like, so we are good
We're
on
good to
that.
go. Cool. I did my healing potion because you know what? I'm not taking those negative points.
That does make sense. I'm gonna not be as bold as you and just keep my healing potion. All right, so to begin, I need to choose if I'm gonna move or not, which I believe I'm going to go ahead and move. Use this stamina discarded. So that's the card I'm gonna be discarding. And I'll be able to move. I'm gonna move over to this side of the monster. All right, and for the first thing we're gonna do is trigger his behavior card because he triggers when, first we actually need to trigger on the start of the turn. He's staring at us, so let's go back.
Great.
Fix that. Ember Dash. For the duration of this turn, the active player cannot be assisted and must use only green cards to generate stamina for movement.
Great.
Well, let's go. All right, so we will just place this in its discard, but we know that's now active. This now comes out.
Now you
can't use this card.
But you have to use your green card.
I do have to use my green card. I don't want to, but I'm going to have to because we can't do anything in the front sector anyway. So I'll use this to move, so I do not become threatened, but because I moved, we now resolve this next trigger.
Perfect.
Firepaw. Discard the top card of the behavior deck. If that card has a claw, the active player suffers wounds and becomes threatened. No claw.
No claw.
All right, so
no
I'm
damage.
going to...
Now you get to do your turn.
So I'm gonna play out Double Strike, which this card counts as 2 offensive for Battle Dance. So first off, I'm gonna do my weapon's damage, which is gonna be 4 damage to the creature.
Let's go.
But we need 5 per player to trigger a wound. We need 10, but it also counts as 2 offensive cards for my Battle Dance, so I trigger another 3 damage.
Hey, he goes from 5 to 7.
And then we are going to play...
Wait, your weapon damage is 4.
This.
Should you have done...
It was 4 damage plus 3.
Okay.
I do 7 total.
Got
Plus
it.
3 for the Battle Dance.
Yep.
Ooh, we forgot to trigger my red card. KHARJA becomes vulnerable. The active player suffers attrition plus X, where X is the number of counters on KHARJA. And he doesn't have any counters.
No
so
counters.
I just take attrition damage, which would be 1 wound or 1 damage for me. But he is vulnerable now. So the next one I'm going to do is I will play out Dancing Shield, which is a chain. This card counts as a offensive for Battle Dance and Retaliate. So it chains after a red card, and it counts as a red card, but only for Battle Dance. So I'm not extending Battle. I don't get extra damage because Battle Dance would need a 4th one in order to trigger it, and I do not have another card. That'll be the end of my turn though, but I do get a counter on this. On my mastery, which is the dancer, because every time I chain a card, I get a counter. And once I get 4 of those, I'll be able to flip that. We now flip for attrition. It's 1 versus my 1, so I actually dodged the attrition damage.
Nice.
Then we will, end of turn, discard all cards in my sequence, discard them in order, and then we will draw back up. And he turns towards the aggro player, which is not me.
All right, so now it's up to me. I'm gonna trigger the start of my turn. This triggers because I'm in the front. Each player in the rear sector must either immediately move or suffer damage where X is the number of counters on KHARJA. No one is in the rear sector, so we're good there. This goes here, so that's gonna trigger. If you start at the rear
That's
sector,
if you start in
right?
the rear sector, and that's a rampage, so that will trigger when another card triggers.
Yep, so at the end of round 2 things will trigger there. That's okay, so now I can move, and I am going to do that. So I'm paying stamina, right? Is paying stamina considered discarding from your hand?
Yeah. Yes, it is. You would discard the card in order to generate the stamina cost. So yes, you trigger that as well.
Okay, before I do that, at the start of my turn, I get to look at the top 2 cards of my deck. I know green's on top. If I have 3 or more cards of the same color in my hand, which I do not, but when I move, I can name a color and then discard the top card of my deck. If it matches the named color, ignore the movement cost. I'm gonna say green. So I discard the top card. It is a green because I saw it. Now I get to move for free, so I move there. And I don't have 3 reds, so I don't get to trigger that. All right, now I get to take my turn. I'm going to start with Aggressive Charge, which is gives me Berserker, so that means whenever I play a red card, I get to draw a card. But I did play a blue card, so we remove a
1 struggle.
struggle. And then I'm going to play Guardian Blade, which costs 1. So I'm gonna discard Quick Attack to generate the stamina I need. And Quick Attack says when you discard this card from your hand, deal base weapon damage. So I get to deal 4. So that's going to take this. to 11. Do we immediately trigger that, or do I finish my action that I played?
The moment it has enough damage, it triggers. We remove the damage and deal the wound. So this is going to remove. It's going to deal the wound. Also, did you take your Oh, you didn't get you did get an aggro token.
Now I have one.
Oh, you got one.
Oh yeah. Yep. So I do have aggro. At the end of my action phase, I can choose another player to draw 1 for each red card I have in my sequence. Maximum of 3. Right now I have 2, so you're going to get to draw 2, unless I want to draw 2, but I'll give it to you. I'm going to discard Final Breath to play Dragon Strike. It is a red card, so and it's offensive. So for 1, I'm in Berserker, I get to draw a card. 2, it's a red card, so I'm going to deal 4 damage. Just flip this over. 3, it is played after a yellow card, so I get to draw a card. I'm super aggroed. I have all 3 aggro cards.
Aggro power. Did you dealt your weapon damage? Yeah, you did.
Yep. What's my sequence limit right now?
5 at the beginning.
Dang, dude, I wish I could play this guy.
Oh yeah, that's a great card. Massive strike.
I don't have enough stamina to do so. So I'm gonna play Battle Cry, which is gonna deal. Oh, I don't deal 4 damage with each. I deal 3. I forgot. RIP. So we should go down 2 damage. Oops. I only deal 3 damage from my weapon, not 4. And that's 4 cards there, but I do get to draw a card because I played an attack card. So I'm gonna play this. It's an offensive card. It's not an attack card though. Attack cards are red, right?
No, attack cards, offensive cards have this symbol. So blue and red are going to be offensive, and then yellow and gray are going to be
But
defensive.
it says specifically attack cards. Are red considered attack cards?
Red are considered, I assume they're considered attack cards, because those are considered offensive overall. Because the blue are maneuver cards.
Okay, so red is attack. So it's only when I play a red card that I get to draw. But I get to remove the last struggle we have on there. All right, that is my turn. I didn't have to worry about anything triggering, that's right. So we do the attrition phase.
Yep.
You want to pop the top card there for me?
You're not threatened. So we receive
I have 1 defense. Let's go, no damage. And then discard cards for my sequence, draw cards in my hand for hand size, and at the end of my action phase, which I should have done this already, I guess, I'll let you draw 3 cards.
Oh, it's at the end of your action
Yep.
phase.
Choose another player to
so
draw
I get to draw
1 for
one
each.
more.
You get to draw 3 total, yep.
Ooh, I like this. A handful of cards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He turns the aggro player, which is most definitely me. When do I remove this?
You don't remove it until I play one.
So it's someone stays aggro.
You stay aggro. Whoever's aggro at the end of the round becomes a new start player.
Got it.
So generally it'll shift back and forth depending on how we play.
Okay.
All right, so we end out the round.
We trigger the end of round.
This shifts. Ooh. Then this triggers. Oh, we didn't account for the vulnerability token.
So what does vulnerable do?
You may trigger it to take 2 to double the damage you would do.
I've only dealt 3 on all of my stuff, so it would increase it to 6. Is that worth it?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely worth it. Just trigger it.
Okay. This goes away.
All right, so we move down. We trigger this, which is Spirit of the Woltiar. Threatened players suffer attrition damage plus X, where X is the number of counters on KHARJA. So neither of us are threatened. We're safe.
Yep.
Then we trigger the Rampage, which is KHARJA gains 1 per player struggle, and if he's in stance 1, we place a damage token in the front sector, a max of 1 per sector.
He is in stance 1, right?
Yes.
So we put that one there.
Then this goes out.
He gets 2 more struggle.
Shuffles, which he gets 1 more struggle for escalation.
Escalating. That's what these things do. They escalate.
They do indeed, to the point of which, oh my god. 2 at the end of the round.
2 at the end of the round, and you're gonna trigger the rear sector here.
Well, if I'm not starting my turn, so if you move, then I'll be safe.
I guess I should have moved over there.
No, it'll be fine.
All right, so now I'm first player.
You were first player. We do the behavior refresh. We also do it at the start of the round, though. At the start of the round, discard the top card of the behavior deck. If the card is a claw, players in the front sector suffer 1 wound. You do not.
So we are going to trigger for the start of the round trial by fire. We have to discard 2 cards from the top of our deck into our discard pile because it is round 2.
So then now we do the behavior refresh, so the lowest number behavior card gets taken out. So actually I'm safe.
Nice.
Look at that. It gets cycled.
Oh, and now I'm screwed. Great.
And you start. Isn't it perfect?
And you already did the 2, and it is now your turn. So you start with your movement phase.
All right, I'm first. I'm starting in the front sector, so I have to trigger this. And it says, each player in the rear sector must immediately move or suffer attrition damage plus X for X's number of counters on KHARJA. He has no counters, so you would have to take 1 damage or you have to move right now.
Sounds like you should probably move.
It's you. It's rear
Me?
sector.
I don't like this. It was for the front. All right, I guess I can move. That should be fine.
The really nice thing though is we have 2 of these end of round triggers out and the rampage, so we don't have to trigger anything until the end of the round.
So that's a good thing. And also, I'm going to discard this one. When a behavior card is revealed, you may discard this card from your hand to immediately overrun the monster. See you, nerd.
Nice. All right, so now it doesn't matter for you.
Correct. And bear in mind, we will be triggering all 3 cards at the end of this round.
Yes, all 3. Start a turn, I get to look at the top 2 cards of my deck, blue, then red. I actually want to draw that. So start is top 2, I can reveal 3 reds. I can't reveal 3 of the same color either. Just drawing real poorly. But when I move, I'm gonna say blue, and I get to move for the free ski. So we're gonna move over here because I want to get out of that spot.
Good old shimmering boots.
Good old shimmering boots, dog.
Apparently you put bling on your shoes, they make you move faster.
I'm gonna pay this to play slash to the flank. If you're in the flank sector, you can play your next red card as you may play a red card as the next card in your sequence without paying its stamina cost, and I remove a struggle. I'm gonna play Precise Strike, which gives him vulnerable and deals 3 damage.
Cool.
Huh?
Nothing, never mind.
It deals 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. Do we have to trigger
10?
that every... Oh, it's just round 1.
No, it's just round 1.
I guess I'm just gonna play this because I want to deal some damage. So should I deal 6 with the vulnerable?
Oh, we already... You gave it the vulnerable again? Or it got vulnerable again?
It just got vulnerable, so I can
nice.
trigger it and deal 6.
I would do it.
Alright, I'm gonna deal 6.
Take the damage where we can get it.
Dealing 6 to this baddie, which takes him to...
I believe he triggers a wound. Yeah, so we have triggered a wound. So we drop him back down to 1, drop him down a wound, and we are still not at the point for stance 2, which would be 6.
Nope, but it is the attrition phase, so if you can reveal a thing for me. 0! Let's freaking go, bro.
That means I'm gonna have to play extra. That 2's coming for me.
So I take no damage, and then this gets discarded. Draw cards my hand size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I shuffle immediately when my deck is empty?
Yes, and you take the fatigue damage, which is going to be 1 wound, and the scenario requires you to take another damage.
So I take
because
2
we're surrounded
diggity
by
dogs.
lava.
2 damage. Okay.
Bet you wish I had that Elmore potion.
Nope.
All right, so at the beginning of my turn, which I forgot to do last round, I can look at the top 2 cards of my deck, go back, same order, and at the start, if I have 3 or more cards in my hand of the same color, which I do, I have 3 yellow, then I get to draw a card. And let's see.
If you have 3 blue, you get a trigger. Do you now have 3 blue?
I do not have 3 blue.
Dang,
One
all
off.
those cards and you don't have 3 blue.
1 off. It's rough.
It's rough out here.
It is. All right, so I'm gonna do crossover. Well, I'm gonna be moving first, but I'm using crossover to move, which is when I discard this card from my hand to generate stamina for a movement, I may overrun the monster instead of moving, and if I do, I remove 1 struggle. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that for my movement, which overruns, and I remove 1 struggle.
Hey.
All right, so let's get the party started. I'll play Shadow Strike. My cards gain stealth until the end of the turn, so I will not be taking that aggro token. And when I overrun the monster, I may discard this card from my hand to draw 2, but I didn't do that. I should have done that, but it's all fine. We're gonna use this offensive attitude to pay for finesse, which is going to allow me to draw 1 card. I'm going to discard this one to play out Scythe, which will do 4 damage and remove 1 struggle. So I'm dealing my weapon damage of 4, which will bring us up to 5.
Beautiful.
And then I will also chain into that with a Crescent Strike, which increases my sequence limit by 1.
Ooh, nice.
But it is going to deal 4 damage again, plus the 3 for my Battle Dance. It's going to be another 7. We have them right here, actually.
Here's a 5. Just put 2 more, and then take the 2 5s off. You get that wound.
Wound.
Let's go.
That's what we needed. And then I will play this one Twist out, which is a chain, so it's free. Speaking of which, I chained twice. I chained into this one and I chained into this one, so that's actually 2 more counters on my Dancer Mastery.
You can also discard. You can recycle whenever you chain.
That is true, which I'm gonna do.
And then
I
you
draw a card. And I have a sequence limit of 6 right now
So you
because
can
of
play
the other red
one
card.
more card in that sequence.
Play one more when my Battle Dance is already done for. However, I like the idea of this. I'm going to play Dancing, which lets me draw 1 card for each offensive card in my sequence, a max of 3.
Oh
I have
my
4
word.
sequence cards.
I don't know if that's good because you can't play anything else.
You're right, but it is what it is. We did
And
what
you
we
gotta
did.
take 2 damage.
To be fair, I was going to take that anyway, but it's fine. Oh yeah, there's no struggle. I didn't think about the fact that there was no struggle.
Yeah, that did nothing for you, coach. Yeah.
You know what? We did it for the flair of drawing more cards.
I mean, I feel it. I'm with you.
All right.
It really
So
doesn't.
shuffle.
I mean, it really didn't matter at all, right? Like you were drawing up anyway, so you were gonna get those cards.
This is true, but you know what?
And it gets that card out of your hand if you really didn't want it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But now this goes in. I had stealth, so I did not take aggro. Ooh, I should probably. I have 2 greens, 2 reds, 2 blues. We drew a 2. Yeah. Just narrowly dodged all that attrition damage.
We are kicking butt so far, if I do say so myself.
Except for that play I just made. All right, so now we're at the end of the round. We are going to drop down the token to finish the end of the round, and we're going to trigger these. Let's trigger the one on the left first, and it is Onslaught. Each player in the front and flank sectors suffers attrition wounds unless they reveal a yellow card from their hand. Speaking of,
Boom.
I did forget, this should have turned towards you.
Yeah, it should have.
Yeah, at the end of your round. So I'm actually not in the back.
So it's the rear or flank, so it's not even.
Oh, it's blank actually. Yeah, you're right. So
It's
I do
not
have to
me.
reveal one.
Oh, it's
Reveal
front or flank.
a yellow.
Yellow.
Revealing a yellow. I'm safe. Safe and secure.
This triggers.
This triggers Spirit of the Waltiar. Threatened players suffer. Neither of us are threatened. We are fine.
Is your overrun considered moving so you don't get
Yes.
threatened? Nice.
Yeah. And then we will trigger the Berserk, which is
The
Rising Temperature. He gains 1 per player struggle, and you place a damage token in the front sector. So he gets another damage. Oh, it's already there. We don't get 2.
You can't have more than 1.
No.
Okay.
And then we get 1 per player struggle. Refresh these. Ooh, 2 offensive cards in a row to trigger that one. Interesting. And then we do the start of the round. We can consume potions if we choose to. I'm choosing. I don't think I'm going to choose to do that.
No.
Oh, I did gain a stamina token. That's
Oh,
part of the
wow.
reason why I drew up.
Mm.
Then again, I would have still had the stamina token. So either way. You're still star player because you still have the aggro token. We
Yep.
refresh behavior, so we lose this one, which forces another trigger,
Escalation.
and we shuffle.
And we
4
shuffle.
funsies, guys, 4 funsies. We trigger the start of the round. It's the start of the round. Are we doing this? We're doing this from behavior refresh, so it's not the start of the round, so we don't have to
At the
trigger
end of the
this.
round, though.
At the end of the round, we should have
Or
triggered
the-
this one. At the start of the round, we should have done this. Wait, no, because this triggered at the end of the round.
Yeah, so now we do start of the round.
So now we do start of the round.
But when do we trigger the trial by fire stuff?
The beginning of the round, for the round number. So we have to discard 3 from the top of our deck.
All right, discarding 3. 1, 2, 3. They're really making us go through this deck.
I think that's the entire point. All that extra damage, let's just hope we don't get fired up. This should be gone, by the way. I was supposed to turn at the end of one round, and now it's gone.
Cool.
So we're fine there. We discard the top card of the deck. No claw, we don't take wounds.
Whew. Thank you, no claw.
And we will start with your turn.
Sweet.
Movement phase.
Yeah, I didn't consume anything, so movement phase. All right, start of my turn. Let's trigger both of those.
Ember Dash. For the duration of this turn, the active player cannot be assisted and must use only green cards to generate stamina for movement. And then we have Terrifying Gaze. KHARJA gains players -1 struggle. The active player skips their turn unless another player discards a offensive card from their hand. If the active player is the only player standing, they must discard an offensive card from their hand instead. So let me go look for you.
You better discard an offensive card. That's all I got to say.
Gotcha covered. Got you covered, brother. Now let's go ahead and refill these. And it is now your turn.
And if I play a red card, which I'm going to do, I trigger that. If I play 2 offensive in a row, I'm going to trigger that. Question 2 is how much struggle does he need to do whatever his struggle bless nonsense is?
It is 3 times the player count.
So if he
6.
gets to 6, then what happens?
Then he will deal his attrition to everyone and drop down to player count struggle.
Got it. All right. So starting my turn, I can look at the top 2 cards of my deck. Red and then blue. Ooh, that one's not bad. If I have 3 or more cards of the same color, which I still haven't done, and when I move, I can say red, discard the top card of my deck, and move for free. So we are going to, I'll just move to you. I'm fine with that. All right, so I'm going to start with Blind Rage. It's going to, do I trigger that first or do I finish this card first?
You resolve your card first, and then that's going to trigger off your.
So I'm going to deal 3, and then that's going to trigger. Which says, Fiery Mane. KHARJA becomes vulnerable. The active player suffers attrition plus X, where X is the number of counters. So I'm going to take 1 damage, but he is now vulnerable. Where did I put the vulnerable token?
Kept it right over here.
Okay. This gets discarded. That's going to go there. All right. Now I can continue my turn in peace. Oh, wait. When I take damage, after I suffer damage, I can reveal a resilience card from my hand to draw a card. Boom! All right, I'm gonna play that card. It costs 1. We're gonna discard here, generate that 1. Lets me draw a card, and this is a defensive card, so just in case. If your health is critical, which it is not right now, I'm gonna play Wrath of Blood, pitching this. I get to deal 3 damage. And then I'm going to play Counter Strike, and I get to increase the damage this attack does by 3, so I get to deal 6.
Ooh.
So
Nice.
we take 10 off.
Are you going to trigger the vulnerable?
Yes.
So that'd be 12.
So I need to put 6 more back, and that still triggers.
I like it. I like it.
I removed 10 already. So.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is going to move down to 6, which is now going to actually trigger his secondary stance.
Yep. So
we're
what we do
move
here.
these off first. Still the same exposure areas, and then we have to get down to 2. But when this is revealed, we place a fire terrain in each damage sector on the board.
Okay. Boom.
And they go red side up.
Boom. These are fiery.
And then this will shift as well with the phase. This is not permanent, so this one will go away. He is now immune to blind. When KHARJA suffers a wound, place a counter on KHARJA, and then when a player suffers attrition damage, that player suffers 1 additional damage for each counter on KHARJA.
Perfect.
So you're not threatened, so you don't have to worry about that. But we do now pull attrition.
1 and no damage.
Oh yeah.
No damage.
You ducked, dived, dipped,
So
and
I'm good.
rolled.
And then I draw 2, 3, 4, 5. He turns to me because I'm aggro still, and that's that.
I just realized we've been turning him the wrong way.
What do you mean?
His arcs are right here, actually. So he should be this way for his front.
Yeah. So we've been turning him to where he's looking, but that's not right.
Technically, he's looking at the right.
So place counter. So every time we can wound him, he's gonna end up with 5 counters basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4 counters.
Well, once he gets the 4th counter is when it would switch anyway. But yeah, he would get 4 counters.
Dang, when we suffer, we get extra. All right, so we have to take this whole chunk as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we're gonna
Or
have
like
to...
take it slow and then get like 3 wounds
Yeah.
in a row.
We're gonna have to just make sure we dodge, really. We have to play enough yellow and green. Your turn was finished.
Yep, I'm done. So it goes to
Alright.
you. You don't start in the rear sector. I never played two things, so we're good on that.
All right, so for the beginning, I will choose to move because I do not want to become threatened, especially since we're so dangerous these days. So we'll discard this for stamina. I'll move right here because I can't attack in any of the other sectors. Guess it doesn't much matter. I'll discard this one. Oh, you know what? I have a stamina token. If I don't use it, I'll lose it, so I might as well use it for that move. All right, so we will play this in order to do Half Moon now. And that will allow me to remove one struggle. We just don't want him getting up there.
We've been doing pretty good on that.
Yeah, we've been keeping it pretty down. I'm gonna play this one, which actually I'm gonna play it the other way because I'd rather not take the threat. And that way I am done. I'm out of cards in my hand, so that'll be the end of my turn.
Wow.
Yeah, I told you it was a weak turn.
That was weak sauce.
And I still take damage.
And you're taking, but there's no things on them yet, so you're only taking one.
We lucked out. Discard my cards, draw back up, and that is the end of the round.
You didn't play any aggro cards, right?
No, I did not.
So he's still facing me. That's the end of the round. So we don't have any end of round triggers.
Yes, we do. This one. So this moves. It is Onslaught. Each player in the front and flank sectors suffers wounds unless they reveal a yellow card from their hand.
Boom! I only have 4 in my deck.
I have a nice and hearty 6. We're safe. But also enhancement. Oh, actually, he has to pay for the enhancement, which he's going to remove another struggle to pay for because he can pay for it. We actually have to
The
reveal 2
aggro
yellow.
player
Oh.
must reveal 2, which I do not have.
Ooh. Well, it's only one.
I suffer 1 damage.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's weak sauce. That is weak sauce.
Weak sauce. I'm going to be using my potion on you instead, apparently.
Alright, so this goes out here now. Now we have to discard the top 4 of our deck. 1, 2,
2, 3.
4. Jeez.
I am taking 2 more wounds,
Beautiful.
isn't it? Oof.
You're getting real low.
Oof.
Sun's getting real low.
Getting real low.
We both only have 10 health, too.
Yes.
You're not using that health potion, though.
Very
To get
well
those
might.
minus points. I don't want no minus points.
I could have done all coral, and I could have been healing.
All right. So we did start of rounds. Behavior refresh.
So we're gonna remove this one. Placed.
And then
He gets 2 struggle.
2 struggle.
It's over 3.
Struggle bus.
He's
And
busting all that struggle
now,
away.
start of my turn. I'm in the front, so we gotta trigger this shenanigans. I feel like I'm always triggering this crap. Each player in the rear sector must either immediately move or suffer damage. No one's in the rear sector. So, boom. Trash. This is empty. Do we shuffle now? What happens?
Escalation.
Escalation. He gets 1.
He's at 5. 5 out of 6.
Oh no.
He's about to trigger.
Oh no. I'm glad he used the paid for the enhancement. Because we would be at 6.
Oh, that's true.
I hope you didn't want to consume anything this round either.
Oh no, I did not.
Okay.
Not yet. Because I would have only gotten 2 heal from it.
Start of my turn, I get to look at the top 2 cards of my deck. And then if I have 3 of the same, I have 3 of the same! Finally! So I get to draw a card.
Nice.
I don't have 3 reds to trigger my sword, unfortunately. And then I'm going to say red, or blue, I mean, sorry, to ignore the movement cost. I'm going to move right on over here. Then this is empty, so I suffer how much damage?
2. 1 for the fatigue, 1 for the scenario.
I was at what? I was at 4,
You're-
so I go to 6. Okay. Easy peasy.
It's not looking like we're in good shape at all.
Oh, dude, he's almost dead. We're good. I should have gained a defense token. What does a defense token do?
It would give you a defense token.
All right, let's go ahead and start this party. Oh, I moved, so I had to trigger that.
And this double offensive one is not going away. Firepaw. Discard the top card of the behavior deck. If that card has a claw, the active player suffers wounds and becomes threatened. Also, enhancement. The active player suffers wounds ×2 instead of just regular wounds.
It is not claw.
We pay for his enhancement. Well, it's a good thing he paid for that enhancement.
It is.
But now you're going to trigger on your next attack card.
Well.
There we go.
Oh, I should have revealed this. Because it lets me draw a card. When I took damage for shuffling, I'm going to reveal this because it lets me draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm playing it. I'm in Berserker. I'm going to deal my 3 damage. My 3 piddly damage. So we're going to resolve this. And it says, KHARJA becomes vulnerable. Ooh, I do like that though.
Ooh.
I do like that.
The fire, I do believe we forgot to tick down, didn't we? They flip over to the
We
other side.
did. Flip these down. Okay.
Okay.
The active player suffers attrition plus X, where X is the number of counters on KHARJA. So I'm gonna take 1 damage. I don't
And
have
it becomes
designs.
vulnerable, so he got that token already.
1 damage goes there. Let's start here, discarding Endurance. So I get to draw a card and it says the next card I play in my sequence is a red card, reduces stamina cost by 1. I'm gonna deal 3. That's gonna trigger him to take a wound. So he's gonna go down to 1. He's gonna take a wound, and it says when he suffers a wound, place a counter. So he took a wound.
I both like and dislike it.
Now I have to trigger this because I've played 2 aggression cards. The active player suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow card from their hand, and he's gonna pay 1. Active player suffers damage unless they discard a yellow from their hand. I will do that. I'm gonna discard this one. No, this one. Yeah, we're gonna do this one because I want to use this. All right, next I'm going to play. Let's play this. No, I have to do it in this order. Okay, we're playing that, discarding this, and I get to deal 6 damage. I'm gonna trigger the vulnerable to deal 12.
How are you dealing the 6?
So it's, oh, wait.
Yeah, you played those in opposite order.
Oh, I think I did that wrong earlier too.
Oh, yeah, it's because this card is going to be referenced by the blank symbol, and you want to play a red card
F's
after
in
it.
chat. I think I did that wrong earlier. Sorry. Okay, I'm not playing that because I needed to have done it in the other order. Oh wait, I can still play it though. So he's still vulnerable. I'm gonna do this. It costs 1 less, so I'm gonna pitch this for 2. It's gonna deal 3. I'll trigger the vulnerable to deal 6, and then he gains vulnerable. 6 damage,
like it,
and
I
he's
like
still
it.
vulnerable. And I
Also-
draw a card because I'm in Berserk. I'll play this because I want to go ahead and remove a struggle.
I like it. I like it.
I'm gonna keep these cards.
Okay, so you gain a
I
stamina
gain a
token
stamina.
now.
Give me that stamina.
Then we're going to do the attrition, which you're definitely going to fail unless it's 0, unfortunately. So now you are going to suffer
2 damage.
2 damage.
I'm at 7.
You were at 9 now.
Now I'm at 9. That's not good.
Looks like I might have to save your life instead.
Not good. Oh, I get to do this though. I'm critical.
Oh.
When focused, you may heal 1 per damage. What does focus mean? When you enter the Berserker state, you
are
may
focused
heal
now.
damage your weapon has. When focused, so I get to heal 1 per level, so 1. All right, I'm done.
Learning lessons.
Learning lessons, because I definitely became critical is when you take half damage or half +1.
I believe it's half your health.
So I should have been in this state already. So I should have been dealing more damage. It's fine.
That's
It
fine.
happens.
Yeah. Big asterisk.
So I took the damage, and now I have to draw up. All right.
All right. Beginning of my turn. Now actually he's going to face you.
Yep. He turns to look at me, which is the same space you're in.
Which I don't necessarily like. So when a monster changes orientation, I may discard this card from my hand and draw up to my hand size limit. It'll allow me to draw 1 card, but maybe I can get what I need. That didn't work, unfortunately.
You do start.
And now we start with this,
Yep.
which we do not like. All right. Flaming Tails. Each player in the rare sector must immediately move or suffer wounds plus X. where X is the counters. Fortunately, neither of us are in the tail sector, and therefore this goes up here, and we are done with that.
And then you get to look at the top card.
Top 2. So let's get things started. We're going to start with, well, I'm going to play this to play out Cut Through, which is I may immediately overrun the monster, and if I do, I draw 1 card. Ooh, I don't want to do that actually.
Nope,
I'm
because
just gonna do that. Oh
then
wait,
you'll be in fire.
I can't play that. I need to move first, don't I? I do need to move. I'll play this to move instead, so I can actually attack him. And then the first thing I'm gonna do is play this to remove 1 struggle from him.
You know what's really funny is if I used my defense token, I would have survived. I wouldn't have taken any damage this round.
I know, I was thinking about that in my head, but I didn't want to point it out. And then I'm going to chain with this attack, so I will not only finish my mastery, because I just chained, I will also remove a struggle and deal 4 damage. Puts him at 11 out of 14. And now when I chain a card, I deal 1 damage, and if that card is a red card, I deal 3 damage instead. However, I can't pay for my last card, so we are done for the round, but I also forgot to trigger the 3 damage from this, so actually he's at 14.
Nice.
And he triggers a wound, which also triggers another counter on him. We're 2 steps away from making him switch. So now we're gonna reveal from the top of here. Oh, I take damage, and I'm taking 2
3.
damage. 3?
Right?
Ooh, I am on death's door. Oh, but when I chained a card, I did get to recycle, so I'm gonna...
Start of the turn, you can heal up.
Yeah, or I could heal you.
You're better off getting healed because I can heal when I enter the Berserker state.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Unfortunately, I won't get the maximum heal, but it is what it is. All right, so I finish out my turn. We've done my attrition phase. I discard cards from my hand if I choose to, and I draw back up to max. The monster moves for aggro. I did not take aggro, so we triggered the end of the round. Ooh. Oh! I should have used this vulnerable in my last attack. So that should have been 4 plus the 3, which was 7. So it would have been 14 actually. So you should have another 7 on him.
Let's go.
Or does Battle Dance trigger after? I think Battle Dance triggers after. Yeah, I think Battle Dance triggers after. So technically I would have only done the 4, so 4 more. Onslaught. Each player in the front and flank sectors suffers wounds unless they reveal a yellow card from their hand, but and he has no struggle to pay for the empowered.
So,
oh, and I am knocked out.
Oh no. Oh no.
It happened.
You dead.
Yes.
You dead.
DED.
Dead. Crap. Okay, so what happens now?
So what happens is I get knocked out, so I get the person token. We're gonna fall down. And now on my turn,
This
you
one?
can spend, yes. I will take it like this side, and on my turn, you can revive me, or at the beginning of my next turn, then I would flip it, and then at the beginning of my next turn, I would get rid of it, and I would come back, losing one of my gear pieces.
Okay.
All right, so I'm knocked out. I take this token on its red side. On my next turn, I will flip to the black side. On my next turn, it will remove. I'll draw back up my hand to my hand size, and then my turn is over. So I lose the next 2 turns. However, you can come to my space and spend 2 stamina to revive me, and that will remove one of my steps. So if you revive me and I'm red, it'll flip to white. If you revive me when it's on the white side, it'll go away, and I'll get back up.
So I still have to reveal this.
Yeah.
Threatened players suffer plus X, or X, no one's threatened. These are gonna go here. His deck is empty, which means he gets something. He gets some.
He'll get escalation, which is going to be 1 struggle.
Yeah.
I also need a deplete token. It's going to be the one with like the shield looking thing on there where it's like broken.
All right, your helm is depleted, dog.
Yep, broken. Took a blow to the head.
Okay. So that's end of round stuff. You already triggered move
I didn't
that.
move that.
So now, do you still have to discard?
As far as I know, when I'm KO'd, I'm not affected by anything.
2,
So
3, 4, 5. My goodness. All right. So now we start. I might as well gain a defense token Just in case. You never know.
I also can't use my token, unfortunately.
I can trigger this, but I don't think I need to because it's not really going to help me much. I might as well discard a card from my hand and discard this and search for a red card. We'll take this one. Now, behavior refresh.
Behavior refresh. We will remove this. No tail strikes for him today.
He's going to
He refreshes that.
gain
Then he
2
gets...
struggle. You just flip the one up there.
Yeah.
And then it starts my turn. And at the start of my turn,
You discard the top. Oh, you already did?
both of those are gonna trigger.
Oof. Rough.
I might die.
You might. And I think that would mean it's over for us.
It does.
All right. For the duration of this turn, the active player cannot be assisted and must use only green to generate stamina for movement.
Okay. That's
And
fine.
then he gains player minus 1 struggle, so he gains 1 struggle. The active player skips their turn unless another player discards a... Ooh, now you must discard an offensive card from your hand instead, because I'm currently incapacitated.
I'll discard this, and it says when I discard this card from my hand, I deal base weapon damage,
Nice.
which is 5 because my weapon has +2.
Wow, that is crazy. I like it. Great sword's always great.
Alright, those re-up. If I play a red card, 2 things are going to trigger. Beautiful. Start my turn, I look at the top 2 cards of my deck. I'm going to say blue, discard this to move free. I don't have 3 of the same color, so I'm going to move here. I'm going to help you out here, coach. I'm going to pitch both of these to put you in a good spot.
I like
Flip
it.
that over. Then I'm going to pay 1 for this, which is Berserker. When I go into Berserker, I heal 1. And then this says I can draw 1 or heal 1. So I'll heal another 1.
Another thing is we need to remove the fire terrain. We didn't remove it.
Yep, fire terrain is gone. And then I also played a blue card, so get rid of one of these.
Struggle. It's
And I'm
looking
done.
better, looking better.
Goes to you.
Yep. So this goes away.
You don't trigger any of that stuff, right?
I do not, because I'm still not taking a turn.
Okay.
But I am back up.
Actually, I need to do my attrition real quick.
Oh yeah, you're right. 2, you take wounds. You take 3.
Oh my goodness.
Are you
And then
alive?
my deck just ran out.
You are knocked out.
So close.
So close.
I healed 2, but it didn't matter.
KHARJA put us down.
Dang it. So we are dead. I even got you to where you were about to come back.
Yeah.
And healed 2. And it didn't matter.
Rough,
so this
rough.
is a tough scenario.
Well, funny is, if you actually had spent both of your cards to just fully revive... Well, I'm not actually sure if we can do 2 revives in 1 turn. Maybe? You
Yeah,
would
I
have brought
don't
me
know.
back up, though.
Yeah, that might have.
But then you would have been knocked out. It would have been an endless cycle. Well, not endless. It would have actually just ended after one of us died again.
Which probably wouldn't have taken very long.
Yeah, reduced health and all of that.
Oh,
It is tough.
I mean, we didn't do terrible though.
We didn't do horrible. We did get him down to 4. It was like 60% of his health.
We also
gone.
haven't played in a long time, so
This is
we're
true.
having to
It's
remember a lot of our abilities. That
We've had
trigger
about
and
like a month of downtime since we've been playing our campaign, so a lot of
So-
times we forget a lot of rules, as you can notice
Yeah.
from mistakes.
stuff. Maybe we can try this again another day.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
See what happens.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
I always like the challenge it gives me.
yeah, totally. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye. It was pure chance that I got knocked out. We're at the point I got knocked out. I was at 9 health, 9 damage. Got hit with a random effect and I was done for. I was actually looking to heal with my potion next turn, and just right at the limit, pulled something and knocked out. Advice for attempting this scenario. Best advice, probably limit the card draw you're doing from your deck to avoid taking too much of that fatigue damage, because not only you're going to be taking the fatigue, you're also going to be taking the extra damage from the scenario itself.